for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tara, roll call. Councilmember Campbell.
Here.
Councilmember Ring.
Here.
Councilmember Mays.
Here.
Councilmember Bakke.
Here.
Councilmember Pringle. Councilmember Jones.
All right, we do have two council members that are not present tonight. Both of those council members did reach out. Both are out of town. Jessica's on vacation, and the same with Jeremy Jones. So we will need two separate motions if someone so does choose to excuse them.
I'll make a motion to excuse both Jeremy and Jessica, or
Can we do both in one?
both
Okay.
Jeremy and Jessica.
Councilmember Mays has made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Ring. Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
Councilmember Ring.
Yes.
Councilmember Mays.
Yes.
Councilmember Bakke.
Yes.
All right, motion passes, and they both are excused. We do have a line item not on the agenda. We do have a special presentation this evening, and we have a new officer with us that we will be swearing in. But first, Chief Enlow, would you like to say a few words?
Come on up, George. George, it's my pleasure to introduce our new officer, George Baker. George has got an extensive background in law enforcement. He spent 25 years with the Mount Orr Police Department. He's an advanced EMT and firefighter, a large background. I've worked with George for many years with the Sheriff's Office and here with Georgetown. Matter of fact, he teaches a lot in the academies as well. He's a firearms instructor, multiple certifications for individual teachings. I believe you had Chase in one of your police academy classes, so it's kind of cool to be able to bring some of the police academy training right here to Georgetown too. So it's my pleasure to welcome George to the council and to the village of Georgetown. We're more than excited to have you and your knowledge, and excited to get you going.
Fantastic. And we are very lucky to have him. I had some time to spend with George too as well. And definitely a great guy. I'm excited to see him on the streets and see him around town. So I think he'll fit in very well.
Yeah.
George, if you want, we'll do the official swearing in.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, raise your right hand, thank you, and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, George Baker,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Charter and ordinances
the Charter and ordinances
of the Village of Georgetown,
of the Village of Georgetown,
and will obey the laws thereof,
and will obey the laws thereof,
and will faithfully,
faithfully,
honestly, and impartially
honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of a member of the Georgetown Police Department
of a member of a Georgetown Police Department,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we have a certificate for you. Hold on. I'm doing it all around tonight. Oh.
Done.
There you go.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys have a good night.
See you.
See ya.
Good work.
All right, on the agenda, we have a couple special presentations as well under the communications. First, we have our new economic development director for the county here with us tonight. So Austin, we are excited to have you, and I know you wanted to address council, so feel free to come forward.
Perfect.
Austin, how long have you been on the job now? A
I've
few
been
months?
a couple months since June, so
I was gonna say, fair.
time flies when you're having fun, and
Okay.
so. First of all, Madam Mayor, members of council, thank you so much for the opportunity to come and introduce myself. I'll be sure to make sure that all of y'all get one of my cards. That way you can contact me. But my name is Austin, and I'm the new Economic Development Director for here in Brown County. I'm not originally from Brown County. I was born and raised in West Bygod, Virginia. And, by God's good grace, I somehow managed to come across the river and end up here in Brown County. So a lot of my background is in legislative work and also municipal government. Spent one too many nights at council meetings like this, sometimes late into the morning. So I understand the sacrifice you all make for a better community. And whenever I took this job, I came up and interviewed with the Board of Commissioners, and it was about 1 month between when I interviewed for the job and when I accepted it, was offered the job. And I probably drove up to Brown County about 10 or 12 times during that time. And every time I drove around every little windy road and come across every barn and Amish community, Mennonite community, I fell more and more in love with the county and its people. Not for what it could become, but for what it is now. And be given the opportunity to help advance the county forward, I think is a sacred responsibility. And the task that has been given to me by the Board of Commissioners is to work with every village, every township in the county to understand what your all's vision is and help you achieve it. So at the end of the day, working in my job, I think, is actually a little bit simple. And I don't want to simplify my role too much, but working with people like you all, people like Travis and Jason, and that are doing a phenomenal job, my job is to come in and help and complement the work that they're doing. And there's a lot of work that we can do at the county. We receive funding through the state, through our community development block grant funding, so we can help the village apply for funding. We're doing a sidewalk project in the village of Sardinia right now, so we can definitely help with that, especially individuals with low to moderate income, and the whole area pretty much qualifies under that. And we're also, an organizer for making sure that we can connect you to the right resources. I have a couple of villages now that are reaching out that have special projects that they need assistance with grant funding for right now. We can work with you and try to help find appropriate grant funding as well. Something, as you all may know, is that we have our county's comprehensive plan that was completed late last year. So there are some goals that plan lays out for us. And something that the commissioners and I are working very aggressively on is creating a business revolving loan fund for the county. So basically what that will allow us to do is for-profit businesses will have the opportunity for capital expenses to come in, borrow money. I think we have about $500,000 in the account as of now, and they can get below market loans, favorable terms to help them finance projects, to help them either expand their business and hire new employees or retain employees as well. Something else too that we're working on is what we're calling the Build Brown County Fund. The Build Brown County Fund is like the revolving loan fund, but it's a municipal loan program. And what that fund will eventually allow us to do is, if there is a capital improvement project that the village has, if there is an infrastructure need where there is a financing gap that is occurring, or if there's an emergency expense, and we see this all too often. Let's say something is originally bid for $500,000, and all of a sudden the prices go up, and now you're having $525,000. Since it was a previously approved project, that $25,000 gap potentially qualifies for funding under this program, and it would be a low interest loan that the county would be able to provide the village. So we're very excited about that as well. And something else that we're working on are a ton of programs to help support our businesses. There are a lot of grant programs that we're exploring on creating here in the county. And I'm very pleased to say that in the spring of 2026 rather, we are going to be hosting Ignite Brown County, which, for those of you that may not know, there's a program called Ignite Appalachia. It is a program that is basically a boot camp for people that want to be business owners, that have an idea. They just don't know how to get started. They don't know how to create an LLC. They don't know how to deal with sometimes the horrible red tape that could be sometimes dealing with the Department of Taxation and their website, and if you're not tech savvy, it can be challenging, is going to be a free at no cost program to people that want to create a business. We will walk you through it step by step. It will be an intensive boot camp. And at the end of it, they're going to be competing for prize money. It's going to be almost like Shark Tank. So there'll be a first place prize, a second place, and a third place. And they get money that will be awarded to them to help them start their business here in Brown County. The city of Portsmouth, Ohio has done this very successfully. If you all have been down there and seen the Boney Fiddle District and all the new businesses that are coming, most of those businesses are graduates of a program like this. And so our goal is to help support businesses in our community, but also too to listen. You know, I always like to say God gave me 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. I want to listen to you all as representatives of this great village, and to hopefully understand where the needs are and continuously evolve the programs, as we see the need evolve as well. So once we have more information about that program though, or any of the programs I mentioned, I'll be sure to make sure that that gets to you. If there are any ideas that you all have, feel free to reach out. I'll make sure to get my contact information in your all's hands. But there are a lot of exciting days ahead for Brown County. There are a lot of projects in the works now that we can't quite talk about yet, but are just on the horizon. And with that comes, an area where folks can that are raised here now, they don't have to drive to Cincinnati to find meaningful work. Our kids and grandkids don't have to leave Brown County to have a livable wage and create a life for the next generation. And at the same time, too, we don't have to lose any of the charm that makes Brown County such a special place. So I think that balance and harmony is really important. So appreciate your all's time, and I'll be sure to pass out my business cards here momentarily.
Fantastic. Are there any questions for Austin?
I don't have a question, I just have a comment that it sounds like that you're on the right path to what we need in Brown County.
I appreciate it.
I think there's a lot of progress, I think it just needs a boost to bloom.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So every day at lunch, you'll see me. I'll probably be walking down here around the courthouse trying to get some steps in. I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight, but I always call back home and I talk to my mom and dad about my day, and I'll tell them about something that Georgetown or Brown County's doing, and immediately they're just blown away with it. Right now I was telling them about here at Southern Hills, they have the Chef's Corner that opens up and the students make lunch. My dad, I sent him a picture of the pulled pork last week, and he's like, well, I need to hurry up and get there, get a pulled pork sandwich. I'm like, well, they close at 12:30, but I can maybe go in and get one. But Brown County has so many things, like you said, that are just going so well, and it just needs to amplify it. Coming down to the village of Georgetown and seeing the downtown core that you all have, people make fun of me for saying this line, but it's kind of like out of a storybook in a way. It's a small town that has so much potential, and we just need to start telling our story and bring people in here and make it a place to work, live, thrive, but also hopefully a place to visit and keep revisiting. And every time they visit, they spend more and more money, and we benefit from the tax revenue from that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it.
No problem.
We appreciate you coming to our meeting
No
tonight.
problem. I'll pass these out here. Make sure all of you all have. Thank you very much. Travis, you want one still?
I've got one.
Yeah. There we go.
I got one.
Perfect. Thank you all. Welcome.
Feel free to come back anytime. We welcome
I appreciate
any
that.
updates.
Thank you.
Certainly appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night. Safe travels.
I'm gonna take this with me.
Yeah, you might want that. All right, continuing along on the agenda, a good compliment to Austin as well. We have Jason here tonight. As you guys all know, Jason is our economic development person here for the village of Georgetown, and we have worked with him for quite some time now. It's pushing 5 years.
I think so.
I think so. So, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Jason does a fabulous job for us. I find myself in continuous communication with him on different things and things that I think he doesn't know. he knows already before we know most of the time, and there was more information, which is very, very helpful. So we appreciate you, Jason, and I know you wanted to give an update to this group.
Yeah, well, thank you for the introduction, Kelly, and it's been nice to get to know Austin over the past couple months. In my time working for Georgetown, prior to Austin's arrival, I had almost very limited interaction with county economic development staff, and Austin's been, good to work with. We've communicated on some different initiatives that we're looking to, partner on and implement together that would help, not only the county but the village as well. So more to come on that. I guess first off, before I get into the presentation here, I wanted to provide council and the administration with an update on the activities of the Port Authority. So as you know, the acquisition of the industrial park site has been completed. All of the loan process through the Ohio Department of Development has been finalized. And we recently applied for some grant dollars from the Appalachian Regional Commission through their POWER program. That grant application I just submitted yesterday for $1 million, and that will be to fund a portion of the cost for the access road at the industrial park. Based on Brown County's status designation with ARC, they'll provide up to 50% of the funding for a project. So the access road in total is about $2 million of cost. We don't have to have a match finalized at this point for the application or to even be awarded the application. They have different categories for that. So, we're in the proposed local match process right now. I've already initiated discussions with several different groups to help arrive at those funds, including Jobs Ohio through their OSIP program, which is Ohio Site Inventory Program. Travis and I were on a call with some folks with Ready Cincinnati recently about the Ohio Department of Development's Roadwork Development Grant, which goes by 629. I don't know how they picked those numbers. Maybe it's like kids now, they call everything 67, but this is the 629 program that can provide funding for road development. And then also the initiative that I've talked to Austin about is the potential to establish a transportation improvement district for Brown County. I think it's about 50 or 60 some counties throughout Ohio have TIDs as they're known. And for those counties that do, ODOT can provide up to $500,000 of funding for roadwork development projects. So there's money out there, we're going to aggressively go after it and try to get it. The other thing that I mentioned previously at a former update meeting, I have had discussions with the school superintendent and treasurer regarding the potential to utilize tax increment financing as a tool to help fund infrastructure development at the industrial park site. As I mentioned, we don't have a defined project at this point in time. The marketing efforts for that site have really just got underway in earnest within the past couple of months since the acquisition was finalized. But once we do have a potential project on the hook and we're negotiating with them, we'll have a better understanding of what those infrastructure costs may be, whether it's utility upgrades or expansions, additional roadway capacity, et cetera. Once we have those estimates, we'll have a better idea of what the TIF revenue would produce and to have a better determination of whether it's something that the village can implement on its own, or if we exceed those statutory limits, we would need school district approval on. But really excited about the ARC grant. I've been in discussions with OVRDC, Ready Cincinnati, State Senator Johnson, State Senator Byrd, a representative from U.S. Congressman Taylor's office attended our Port Authority meeting earlier this week. So getting the word out, going to solicit support letters from all those folks, and those things actually are taken seriously into consideration by ARC when they evaluate applications. So we're going to be, I think, in a good spot to be very competitive in the process. So I will be sure to keep you posted along the way. Final decision on that program is in the spring. So fingers crossed. And then as Austin mentioned, Brown County completed a comprehensive plan. I think it was published in December of last year. Comprehensive plans, take into account a variety of not just infrastructure and utilities, but land use and zoning, et cetera. They solicit, a lot of public input. Maybe some of you attended some of those sessions. That really inspired me to think that, Georgetown as a village doesn't have any sort of strategic plan, especially that's focused on economic development. So that was sort of my inspiration to develop a strategic plan for economic development for the village. And tonight I just wanted to kind of highlight some of the goals, objectives, and strategies that will be part of the plan. Many of you may have seen the acronym that you see on the screen, the SMART goals, so specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Those are the things, we don't want just very broad, undefined goals. We want to be very focused in our effort to make sure that we can measure and achieve what we're set out for. So the first goal is to actively promote the retention, expansion, and attraction of business investment. This one's not very creative. Probably every economic development organization has this as their overall goal. So a couple objectives under that would be to strategically market our regional assets while highlighting local opportunities. So we do that in partnership with, the county now, which is great. OVRDC, Ready Cincinnati. For smaller rural communities, it's hard to attract large corporate investment without leveraging in all of those assets, like a Cincinnati has to offer. So we're going to make sure that we incorporate those into our marketing and promotional materials. A couple strategies underneath that would be to attend industry trade shows and economic development events. I've been doing that and intend to continue doing that. And then promote opportunities across multiple channels. So online, print, social media, good old-fashioned networking. We want to make sure that we touch all of those people that are involved in business expansion projects in the area where they're most likely to receive information in the best way. This is something that I've wanted to do, and I think the time is now. When we got started here, the world had this pandemic and everything kind of got goofy for a while. But to have a formalized business retention and expansion program, this is something that I could loop in Austin on certain business visits. Earlier this summer, we had our first one with Ready Cincinnati and OVRDC. Made a stop at Waldom Electronics and learned about all the exciting things that they're doing, and their growth has been phenomenal. And they've been a very good corporate citizen as well. I know that they've always opened their doors to pretty much anyone within the community that's interested to learn more about what they have going on. And I don't think that they're done growing, which is really exciting. With that formalization of the BR&E program, we would first look to, probably do this after the first of the year, conduct a business retention and expansion survey to identify those strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that businesses locally may be facing. And then use that as a basis to prioritize follow-up meetings. So if a company says, hey, we're looking for low interest capital to buy a new piece of equipment or expand our building, then I can say, hey, let's get together and talk with Austin about the new program that Brown County is initiating. The third objective under goal number 1 is to strengthen our entrepreneurial ecosystem. So again, this is where Georgetown as the county seat, can really play a focal role to tie in broader countywide or even regional efforts. We've touched on this briefly in the past, but, evaluating the feasibility for an entrepreneurial center. The world has started to shift back a little bit, with less folks working remotely. There's been more of a push to return to office, especially in urban areas. But for a place like Georgetown, having, a co-working location or a business incubator to help get those, ideas transitioned from someone's basement into a professional workspace, I think that's a big need for the county. And then again, just build that coalition of supportive organizations. So, whether that's bringing in somebody from Portsmouth as an example to help mentor a program here, I've worked with the Youngstown Business Incubator in Northeast Ohio on projects in the past, and they are world-renowned actually for the success they've had in incubating and growing some of their companies. So again, it's just about building that coalition to achieve results locally. Goal number 2 is to expand and enhance public infrastructure. Economic development is super competitive. You probably heard me say this before. Right now, the Port Authority Industrial Park, it's just an agricultural field. The utilities are at the road, which is great, but right now, it's not a site. It's just dirt. So the difference is, getting that road in there, getting those utility hookups in there. Then it becomes more of a development-ready site. Organizations across the country, and Jobs Ohio is a great example of this, over the past, several years have really understood how important it is to have shovel-ready sites available for businesses. Because if there's 2 things that will kill any opportunity that a local community has, time and cost. So if it takes you longer to get a site ready or a business to get a site ready, and it's gonna cost more, chances are there's a community elsewhere that has a piece of property that's ready to go. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna win that competition. So how do we do that? Again, we're gonna continue to aggressively pursue grant programs and look at the implementation of incentive districts. So those are things that we already have underway. Second objective is to increase the inventory of available properties. And this is something that we can all do collectively. If you, within your local network, know somebody that might have a property that they're considering, selling or leasing, let us know and we can help market that for them through our online property database, whether that's a connection to a local real estate company, etc. But we have to have inventory to win projects. And then again, increase that outreach to property owners and brokers. I know Delbert and I and the village have worked on opportunities to look at how to develop some of your properties, whether that's for housing or commercial development. The village needs all of it. And then strengthen and build those collaborative partnerships. So increased engagement with economic development organizations. Again, the county has programs just by the nature of being a county that villages and cities don't, like the CDBG program. So having a partner now in place to help us promote what we're doing is great. And then what I call intermediaries. So these are guys like Joe that work for larger law firms that have corporate clients, accounting firms, engineering firms. For example, next week I'm planning to attend the Chicago Build Expo, which is a very large conference, for folks in the construction industry on all aspects. So not just construction firms, but engineering and architectural firms, law firms. So that's a great opportunity to pass out flyers about, the community and the industrial park property. So we're going to continue to do more of that. And then third, and before I get to this one, I'll just say, you could have, 10, 20 goals, and, I think the thing is we want to make sure that we keep it manageable. So, I've really honed in on these 3. We want Georgetown to be a location of choice to live, work, and play. And yes, that's a cliche saying right now, but, given its prominence within the county as the county seat, it has a developed downtown that has, good assets here and has the room for more. We believe that Georgetown could be, poised for growth, especially some of the larger projects that are happening in the region and, may happen that haven't been publicly discussed yet. So as part of that, we need to increase housing, both the quantity and the type of housing. So single-family developments, multifamily developments, etc. And then, the Appalachian Community Partnership Grant, I think I said that wrong, but whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Those dollars, to help revitalize downtown are going to make an impact, and hopefully there's other programs as well that we can put into place, like a downtown revitalization district, etc. There are some significant available properties in the downtown area, like the former school property, I think has great potential to be redeveloped, and I hope that there's a role for the village or the Port Authority to play in making that building come back to life in a productive way. Travis and I talked about this one a little bit at length, but promoting economic development to stakeholder groups to increase the visibility of our efforts. We talked about hosting an annual business-focused event to highlight and celebrate businesses in Georgetown, promote that cross-town networking. So if there's a business that has a certain need, sometimes they don't even realize that there's a service company in their own backyard that could help fill that gap. And then publish some type of business-focused newsletter. I suggested quarterly. It could be monthly, twice a year, whatever the frequency is, but just make sure we blast that out to everyone's network to keep Georgetown top of mind. Again, site selection is a very competitive industry, and there's a lot of great places to do business around the U.S. So to the extent that we can keep Georgetown top of mind with decision makers, that just puts us in that much better of a spot. So there will be a full strategic plan report. I hope to have that finished in the next week or so. I was hoping to have it done today, but this ARC grant really took some time to get that completed by the deadline, again, which was yesterday. So as soon as that's complete, I'll make sure that Travis gets that to everybody for review, and then I'll make myself available at the next meeting or for individual phone calls or meetings to discuss any questions or suggestions you might have. So thank you very much for your time and attention, and I'm excited to get some activity going at the industrial park. Thank you.
Fantastic. Questions, comments for Jason?
Yeah. One of our board members here, Dave Wint, you probably all know him.
Yes. Welcome. All right, Jason, thank you so much as always. We appreciate you making the drive down and certainly appreciate all that you're doing for the village.
Yeah, thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Mhm.
All right, we will move on to public comment, and Delbert, I will start with you.
A progress report on the road and development is progress is stopped. The apartment deal fell through, but sometimes when things don't work out, they do. So I've already had people call me about building apartments. I'm gonna look into building some myself. And I'd like to have something kind of nice like Cambridge or what's that one that Phil Wilson did down there?
Oh, yeah,
Cricket Creek,
yeah.
Cricket Creek.
Crooked Creek. That's a nice, something like that. So in the meantime, we're waiting on the sewer drawings to get passed by my engineer and your engineer. We're trying to get together to get things settled between them. Then it goes to Planning Commission. Then it goes to Todd Cluxtonstein, and then it goes to the EPA. So we're probably up after the first year the way it is now. So, which means we'll probably wait till next spring so it ain't so muddy. But anyway, in the meantime, I'll be talking to people about building. But we did get the road built, so things can be built back there now. So that's where that stands. And if I build some myself, I'm gonna get Liz Dunn and Mayor Kelly to run them, manage them.
Liz probably would do it for you.
I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah,
Anyway, that's all I
sounds
got.
fun. Well, thank you. We appreciate
I
what
would
you're
like to know
doing,
what's for
Delbert.
supper.
Say that again.
I said I would like to know what's for supper.
I keep telling Travis we need to serve food at these things. We all come hungry.
378-2100.
Oh my gosh. See you, Dave. Have a good night.
See you later.
All right, and that's it.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Dave.
yeah, talk to you soon.
Safe travels. All right, we will continue on with our general business. On your agenda, you will see on page 2, you have the regular council meeting minutes from August 28th. Take a look at those. If there are any questions or changes, anything, just let us know. When you're ready, we would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Councilmember Campbell has made the motion. Is there a second?
A second.
Seconded by Councilmember Bakke. Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Ring,
Yes.
Councilmember Mays,
Yes.
Councilmember Bakke,
Yes.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Page 5, you will see your work session meeting minutes from September 11th. Again, take a look at those. Any questions, any changes, please let us know. When ready, we will entertain a motion.
Make the motion to approve.
Councilmember Bakke has properly made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilmember Campbell. Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Ring,
Yes.
Councilmember Mays,
Yes.
Councilmember Bakke,
Yes.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
All right, motion passes, thank you. On page 8 of your agenda, you will see the work session meeting minutes from October 9th. Again, take a look at those. Any questions or amendments, please let us know. When ready, we will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Councilmember Bakke has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilmember Campbell. Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Ring,
Yes.
Councilmember Mays,
Yes.
Councilmember Bakke,
Yes.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Thank you. Travis, looks like we have a playground equipment update.
So yeah, we have, we're working on the second round of our 3 phases of playground equipment upgrades for the park. If you see on the right side here is what we put in last year. This year we'll be doing this section. Now this will be bigger than that. That was the first rendering. Then next year's the third phase, we'll put this central seating area in between the 2 playgrounds for parents and the like to sit, and then there'll be a sidewalk will come up to this and then allow for handicap access to either side and that type of thing. So this year though, we're doing, this is what this year's will be. We'll have the swings and then the 2 to 5 year old playground set. As you know, at this time of year, we get 50% off if we go above 75,000 on hardware. So this is 79,000 worth of hardware. So we end up with about 41,000 savings from that. So the total cost was 99,000. But I've been talking to NatureWorks. You know, we got that grant for NatureWorks. Well, that was before I came. I think Art had applied for that. That was for the basketball, new basketball court that we were putting in at the park. We decided not to use because of the prevailing wage. It really made it not usable for that. So for this size of project, I asked NatureWorks if they would let us transfer that to this. So then I had them quote prevailing wage for the installation for this. It only changes it about $6,000. So you know the 10, I think it's $11,000 worth of sidewalk or worth of grant that we'll get. So you know it'll save us $5,000. But it also won't detract. The next time if we want to apply for NatureWorks, we won't lose points because we didn't utilize the money. So it'll save us a little bit of money. And we'll get to stay in the good graces of NatureWorks if we ever want to do that. So
How much will that ultimately cost us?
it's 105,000 minus the 10,500 or 10,800. So like 95,000. Yeah. And then next year we'll do the third section, which is the. So this is what we're putting in this year, and then next year we'll do that central. So I've applied for I've applied for that grant funding, and then we'll see, once we get awarded, there'll be legislation for you to authorize us to move forward on that.
Any questions?
Well, I know the park is very utilized. I mean, they're good Lord. For every nice day, it's full.
So just to be clear, you're working on getting a grant for that also, though?
Yeah, it would be like 149,000, I think, if we don't get the grant.
Okay.
Fantastic. Any additional questions? All right, thank you, Travis. Tony, will you capture the lights, turn those back on, Tony? The lights.
Talking about good here.
Sorry. All right, on page 10, looks like we have a supplemental appropriation. Councilmember Campbell, will you read it by title for us?
Sure. An ordinance making a supplemental appropriation to the village of Georgetown, Brown County, Ohio.
All right, and looks like it's about $3,000, Travis?
So this is just end of year cleanup. Tara's Mayor's Court software renews before January, so we just need to add this in there to cover that.
Any questions? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Councilmember Baki has made the motion. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Mays. Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
Councilmember Ring,
Yes.
Councilmember Mays,
Yes.
Councilmember Baki.
Yes.
All right, motion passes.
Ordinance 1405, 1405.
1405. Thank you. All right, where are we? On page 11, sorry, I'm losing track here, guys. On page 11, we have another ordinance. Councilmember Campbell, will you read that by title?
Sure. An ordinance authorizing the fiscal officer to create the police fund.
Fantastic, thank you. Travis?
So yeah, this is first reading, but so as you know, the fire department has its own fund. Pretty much every department has its own fund, but for some reason, the police department has always operated within the general fund. So this will create a separate fund for the police. And then once we establish what the 2026 budget will be, we will have legislation that will transfer basically a 1/12 of that each month from the general fund into the police fund. The benefit for that is that that money will stay in the police fund. So then at the end of the year, if they realize savings or they don't use every dime of that, it doesn't just disappear back into the general fund. It stays in the police fund so that'll carry over. They'll have carryover balances like the other departments do.
Do we need a second reading for something like this? We do.
We do, and it's not something we'll utilize until next year anyway, so there's time.
All right, any questions for Travis? All right, we will bring that back to next meeting for the second reading and legislation. All right. Is that on page 12? Okay, so page 12, we have another resolution, and Councilmember Campbell, if you could read that by title.
A resolution accepting the bid of John R. Jurgensen Company for the construction of the downtown streetscape associated with the downtown revitalization and historic tourism project, and authorizing the village administrator to execute an agreement for the work to be performed.
All right, thank you. And I know Travis, you are ready to give us an update on this?
Yes, so we have two good bids now for the streetscape and then for the visitor center. And let me just go through that for you. So let's see. So this is what the streetscape will look like, you know, in its current form. It'll pretty much all be pavement except for those corner bump outs. The corner bump outs will be pavers. Everything else will just be concrete or asphalt. And then you can see the diagonal lines. Those will be the overhead lighting that'll really, you know, add to the feel of the square, make it a nicer presentation for people who visit, whether they're going to restaurants or the coffee shop or the festivals that we have. So that'll be a really nice touch. And then we'll have the greenery as we've previously discussed. So
Now, will that all be, just the three sides will be one way, right? The main road will still stay?
yeah, this is
two-way?
two-way. This is two-way. You can see the center line, and then these will circle clockwise.
So it goes in at the coffee loft and comes out on the chairs, correct?
This direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the second bid, you know, we rejected this first time. The second base bid came in at 4.9 million, or I'm sorry, that's what we had to work for. The budget is 4.961 million. Base bid came in at 4.785. And then we have the alternate 4, which is repairing, cleaning up Grant Park there, adjacent to the square. The 607,000 is the water main replacement that we want to do while we have the streets all opened up. We don't want to leave those. That was never intended to be funded by this grant. We will apply for low interest loans for that. And then we'll have enough to cover the water bollards that we're going to install along with power bollards. And those will provide water for any future activities, whether it be for vendors, you know, trucks, whatever we need. We'll just have water access around the square. The power bollards, we're going to do a lot of that work, but we will, at least some of the underground work will be installed, and then our guys will finish those. So it ends up coming in at 5.588 million, and that will fit with the budget, you know, if we get the water line for that amount. So that is that. That's what I'm asking for council to approve that, and then for the visitor center, Perkins Carmack was the low bid. I'm sorry. On the other one, it's J.R. Jurgensen, same as low bid prior. So visitor center is Perkins Carmack. I've never worked with Perkins Carmack, but nothing's really changed from previous renderings on this. The budget is 1.032 million. Base bid came in at 978,000, and then we have to have some special inspections there, so we're coming in just under at 1.028 million for the visitor center. Now that's lump sum bid, so that is what it is. I mean, there really won't be much change there. There's no.
So on that slide before that, you showed we're a little over $600,000 short from the grant money, so we'll have to come up with that. Is that what, right?
Yeah, but that's for the mains, the water mains, which we knew we weren't going to be funded for. But yes, we will have to get a loan. I think right now the low interest loans for water main repairs are like 1.5%, and we may be able to get some loan forgiveness on that as well. So we might not have to pay all of that back.
So ultimately, what is that looking like, that project for the square streetscape going to cost us, the taxpayer?
Just that, just the
Well,
we'll have to pay back the loan.
Wasn't there a shortfall on the building purchase too?
Yeah, for the visitor center, yes, we have that, yes.
So.
And we're trying to evaluate, you know, that's something that we'll take into consideration when we negotiate the lease.
Right.
The lease we'll probably have an executive session to kind of discuss at the next meeting when all 6 are here.
So it'll ultimately still be leased to Ohio History Connection.
That is correct.
Okay. Cool.
Travis, on the legislation, I did the legislation for 978 without the inspection. Do you want the inspection included in the amount?
Yeah, I think we need to.
Okay, so
Well, no, that's not covered. That's not.
Okay.
That's separate from.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I did the legislation for
Yeah,
that.
no, 978.
Okay. Just
Have
making
you
sure.
received the total grant money from, is it Portsmouth that?
We won't get it. They'll pay it through, as they bill, as the construction goes along, they bill and it gets paid straight through. It won't come through us.
That's what, I was just curious, as far as our totals, for what we have in our accounts, is none of that is
It
money
won't,
from
it
that.
won't pass through our accounts.
All right, so we read the first piece of legislation by title, which is for accepting the bid from John R. Jurgensen. So if there are any additional questions after Travis went through that, please let us know. If not, we will potentially entertain a motion.
One quick question for
Sure.
you, Travis, because I know the last time you had talked about we had to redo this because they could say, well, this is gonna cost more, so same thing with Jurgensen that you said with the visitor center meeting, this is what the bid is, and they can't come in
It's
and
a little
say-
different there because it's underground, you know.
Right.
If we run into surprises, we'll have to deal with it.
Okay.
But that's a different thing, right? That's the sewer you're saying, or the.
Yeah, but anytime
Is
you're
that
going
water and
street-
sewer? I'm sorry.
it's water mains.
No
I think
sewer.
the sewers go.
So we, okay.
So if there are changes, they'll have to come back.
There'll be change orders that we'll have to approve, yes. But, you know, it's likely that we'll have a change order.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
All right, any additional questions?
There's a couple, those couple buildings that I have on the square, I apologize to interrupt again. I know that the mains that come into the building are pretty old. Is there any way while that's tore out that something can be addressed there?
Service lines, you mean?
Yeah, like my main is old and my water line
Yeah.
is, I mean, it's all galvanized. It just makes sense to me that if you got all that tore out, wouldn't it behoove us to fix that then? And I'm not asking the village to fix it, I mean, I just wanna know, is
Yeah,
there
I
a window
agree.
that you can give a business owner since they're liable to fix those issues?
No, it's a good question, and that's why we wanna have full-time, supervision there, inspection, to allow for the businesses to ask those questions. And, you know, I would think that if there was a way to work that in.
I'd love to do it on them two buildings, cause it's gonna be an issue, and when you get all that work done, it's gonna be,
Sure.
wow, well, we're gonna cut that out there.
Right,
What a shame. And you can never make it look the same, you know?
right.
Okay, sorry.
With that, I'll make a motion to, approve?
Accept.
Adopt it.
Accept, adopt.
I'll second that motion.
The motion has been made to accept the bid from John R. Jorgensen by Councilmember Campbell, with Councilmember Mays seconding that. Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Bakke,
Yes.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
Councilmember Ring,
Yes.
Councilmember Mays.
Yes.
All right, motion passes, thank you, and that is resolution number
1417, 1417.
1417, thank you. Right behind that, you'll see the second resolution for Perkins Carmack. Councilmember Campbell, can you read that by title?
Yes. A resolution accepting the bid of Perkins Carmack Construction, Inc. for construction of the Visitor Center associated with the Downtown Revitalization and Historic Tourism Project, and the authorization of the village administrator to execute an agreement for the work to be performed.
All right, so this is accepting the bid for the Visitor Center. Are there any questions?
And this was only, what, about 60,000 shy?
Well, I think it's tight with 50,000 in there, but yeah, it's
Oh,
still
six.
under what the budget is. So
Right.
we have requested, and we've been told that there should be a way to utilize, if there's any funding, we might be able to transition that from the visitor center to the streetscape, so.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Councilmember Mays has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilmember Bakke provided the second. Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
Councilmember Ring,
Yes.
Councilmember Mays,
Yes.
Councilmember Bakke.
Yes.
Motion passes, and that's resolution number
1418, 1418.
1418. All right, thank you. Honey, can you hit the light again? Thank you. All right, so that concludes our general business on the agenda. We will move along to the roundtable session of the meeting. And for tonight's meeting, I'm going to start on my right with Councilmember Mays.
Just wanted to say that the festival they did over the weekend was really a great turnout. I didn't get to attend it, I just kind of was in a hurry running here and there, taking care of business that I have to on the weekend, but looked like it had a really good turnout up there. Very thankful that we have people who put that together. Other than that, that's it.
Fantastic. Councilmember Bakke?
I don't have anything this evening.
Councilmember Campbell?
I do not.
Councilmember Ring?
I got a couple. I was approached by a resident who lives on Curry Ridge, and the cable that's going through there, I don't know whether Frontier or who has, because they couldn't remember, but who trimmed trees and stuff where they could go through there, and they just left the brush and stuff laying there in the people's yards. Is there a contractor that's supposed to follow up behind them to take care of that?
We are trying to get a hold of some supervisors. There's more than one crew in town right now because with Alta Fiber working to come in, Frontier and Spectrum both are trying to play catch up to do their own fiber. So yeah, we've had quite a few complaints over the last couple of weeks, and we're trying to track down supervisors to get that with.
Okay. And also on Old 68 within the village, there's a tree that fell down coming into town around a curve, and it's about 2 inches from touching the road. And I would say it's whoever owns the property, the tree fell off their property. But I mean, if somebody just bobbled to the right, they would hit that stump or that log.
The one right there past Lakeview, is that what you're talking about, right there?
Yes, yeah. As you're coming to Lakeview,
It's
yes.
in our right of way.
Yeah. I had a guy tell me today that he met a combine there and he almost hit that getting over for the combine.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Anything additional? All right, thank you. Travis, update?
So last time I was not here, I was in Columbus for the Ohio Municipal League Conference. Quite a few good topics. People concerned about a lot of things that are happening at the state level, but it was interesting. I've been going to these conferences for 16, 17 years now, and you know, when I attend an electric conference, I expect to hear discussions about the different costs, you know, with capacity and energy costs. But this was the first time I've attended a non-electric conference where they had a session on the capacity fee, because it's impacting even villages that don't have electric. You know, where we just did recently, we renewed our aggregation for gas. Other villages who don't own their own electric will do the aggregation, and it's affecting that as well. So, you know, this is a topic that every village is facing, whether they own their own electric or not. So, we did just have our update from AMP on our power, and comparative to where Duke is right now. You know, we're at, I think, if you include everything we have, we're around 12. A little over 12 cents. Duke is 18.2 right now, with that expected to go up more next year. So we're still quite a bit better than customers who are paying Duke. You know, it's unfortunate we've had to raise ours, but everybody has. So comparatively, though, I think we're in good shape.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, Chief Enlow, update for the group tonight?
Yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know how good the Halloween hide and seek went really well this past weekend. We did a poll when we was out there, and it was like 50% of the people, and it was a couple hundred people, weren't even from Brown County, so it was kind of cool to attract people from other counties that are seeing it spread. So hopefully next year we'll just continue to grow and add more things to it, involve more businesses that want to get involved, and just continue to grow it from there. But it was really good. That's all I got.
Well, thank you. I know that was a well-attended event, and your team really came together to put it together. They did most of the work, and we certainly appreciate what they're doing. I did see it all over Facebook, and so I was not shocked to hear that there are a lot of people from out of the area, which certainly helps businesses around here. So great effort by all. And also, too, great effort by Sean. I don't know if many of you know, he's been working on kind of moving some of the police team out into the garage area and getting them some desk space set up all individually, so everybody has their own desk space. And what I love about it is that Sean has been doing a lot of the work himself. So Sean is very talented. I'm sure he could probably be a plumber, an electrician, send internet wires, whatever you need. But I've been very impressed with the fact that he's just more than willing to jump in and make it happen, and we're not bidding that work out. So we appreciate that aspect of it too, Sean. So thank you.
I appreciate it. I encourage you to take a look at it on your way out. I should have said that during my little Halloween thing, but yeah, the office is 99.5% done. There's a couple of things we got to do, some markers and things like that, but for the most part, check it out. If you ever seen the records room, what it looked like before to what it looks like now, it's a lot different.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Well,
Yes.
I saw on Facebook the hide and seek, and I forgot what was going on, and I saw one of the officers walking around with a flashlight looking for people, and I thought, man, they're streaming a search on the light. What in the world is going on? Spoofed I was.
Oh my God. That's awesome, Tony, that's awesome. All right, let's see, solicitor, anything for the group tonight?
Not tonight.
All right, one thing to remind everybody here and at home, we do have trick or treat night coming up this Friday night, October 31st. And if you guys recall, we had a pretty good event last year on the square, and we mimicked that for this year. So trick or treat in the village for the whole village is 6 to 7:30. Anywhere you want to go that someone has their porch light on. And then outside of that, there will also be trunk or treat on the square, which also runs from 6 to 7:30. And then there's a traditional block party with some food trucks and fun things for the kids to do, and parents as well. And that runs up until 9 o'clock on Friday night. So lots of good stuff going on around the square and within town this week. So good things, don't forget. All right, is there anything else that needs to come before council? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Councilmember Baki's made the motion, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Rain. All those in favor? Stay so by saying aye. Any opposed?